a whole episode trying to come up with a name.
Yeah, exactly. I just put speaking of which, but like spelled it WITCH.
Nice. I see we cast a wide net with this title. That's close
Yeah.
a second to like a witch joke. You know, because they spells. Yeah. It was crappy. I don't know what that was. uh, all right, let's start off with something very non-witchy. And that is an admission of laziness on my part. Or not laziness, more confusion. Of like, I have no clue what I should be working on right now for the business. Like before, it's like, all right, do the research so we can then figure out like, okay, exactly what we need to do. And now it's like, pretty much figured out what we need to do. I just don't really know what I should be doing. Which is why yesterday I did absolutely nothing.
Uh, 3:30 p.m. Let's see here. Give me just a second. Somebody's asking if I can do a meeting at 3:30. That's in
Multiple hours.
10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3.
That's how it works. I guess that's the joke of the episode. Speaking of which, and then we don't speak. seems really complicated to schedule one appointment.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let me close that. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Like somebody in London trying to schedule a call. And so we're like confused on the AM, PM stuff. And it's like she was wanting to see if I was available at 3:30 AM my time. And I was thinking it was like 3:30 PM for her, which would make it like afternoon for me. It was just confusing.
Wait, he or she, I don't know, wants to meet you at 3:30 a.m.?
Yeah, it would have been like 9 in the morning for her, which would make it like 6 hours earlier for me.
You're like, no. Wow. All right, so I had some time to think while you were planning your meeting or non-meeting, I guess in this case, and I've come up with a proposal. I think the proper, or at least a rapid way to get moving is, let's sit down for a couple hours, either now or when we have time,
Mhm.
and just like flesh out the course. Like, what are the main sections? What's included in each section? Like, what is each episode or 5 minute chunk going to be like? And even though we can go back in later and kind of modify it, once we have that, then I can start going in and building the funnel, and I have something to do on my end.
Mhm.
I feel like that's going to be something really good, because right now I feel like there really isn't much that I can do, and I feel like I'm just kind of like
Mhm.
my time.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about this a lot, and this is one of those things where I feel like we could all right, here's my thought of what would make this like you said, like really get moving quickly. Is that we can take the copy that I have so far and plug it into like a simple funnel, like what we were looking at the other day, which is like the beginning part of a VSL page, which is like just the headline, who it's for. We're talking about like what's the unique outcome that makes it different from other people, and then a little video kind of saying like, hey, this is what I'm doing. If this sounds interesting to you, click the button to pre-register or join the group or whatever we're gonna funnel them to, and then just use that as a placeholder. And then if we have something to refine later, it'll go quicker once we have kind of like the bones of something up, even if it's like this is just a skeleton to become our template for something. And then go ahead.
Sorry. Finish. No, go ahead. Finish what you were saying. I just thought of something, but I'll mention it after.
Yeah. So what I've been doing is I'm showing the offer or the description of kind of what we've talked about to several people that I think are good fits for it. And then what I'm going to do this week is now that I have the group up and I have a couple of pictures that can kind of promo, basically like what you would run in an ad, like a little graphic that's like, this is the sexy thing that like makes you curious to click on it. So I'm posting that. I posted that in a couple in one group, and I don't know if that got anybody's attention. Let me see if anybody reacted to that. But anyway, what I'm going to do is post it in multiple different groups and try essentially split testing. I'm like going to post it in in a few different ways, where it's like just the graphic by itself. One's like the graphic with a little bit of an explanation. One's just a text version of what I'm doing, and see if what gets people's attention. And then as I'm talking to people who are kind of cold coming into it, say, hey, this is what I'm doing. How do you respond to that? And then the people in the group that I have already got in the group, I'm going to personally welcome them today and just be like, hey, so I'd love for you to take a look at the page that I'm writing. Tell me what about this sounds good, what's missing for you, or, does this sound like it's like, oh, I don't really need this or whatever. So if I'm refining it based on actual feedback from the people who are raising their hand saying, yes, I want to make a group and start building a community, like we'll get some of the stuff that needs to go in the funnel, like the copy and the stuff. Because if we try to map that stuff out in the abstract, like we'll guess basically. So whatever we have now, we can just use as a placeholder. And then if we send people to it, they can, respond to it. We'll see whether or not it converts at all. But I like the idea of doing the course layout. And I was thinking about the message you sent me the other day about each of the things, not necessarily explaining what it actually is, but creating some kind of curiosity for, it's like the way like Russell Brunson titles his chapters, it's all copywriting. It's like, here's the one like secret on how to build an audience, or like, here's the secret on blah, blah, blah. It's like, all of it is designed. Like if you peek and look at the contents, like, oh, I want to know that thing. So now I need to like flip to that page and go to that, like it draws you into the world. So I think there's a lot of value in like workshopping those names and like kind of figuring out how are we going to say what's going to go in the course. And then too, it leaves you a lot of flexibility to like, you name it that stuff, but then it's like when the real first group, it's like, all right, we're going to sit down and do this. And everybody's like, okay, so this is what I need help with. And you realize like what you're doing is different than what people are asking for help with. Like you can pivot without it seeming super duper weird.
Okay, I like what you said. So I know that the word or the strategy of using secrets is very powerful. Russ and Brunson proved that. And then his like, I don't know if he's still working with him, but like, Jim Edwards, which is like, he's the one who created script funnels and he wrote like screenwriting secrets and stuff like that. It's like copied that exact system of using secrets to sell. And it's like, if you look, because I saw an ad pop up on Facebook a lot recently from him, and it's like, hey, how to write and launch your book in 7 days or whatever. And it's like, out of curiosity, I watched the video, and in the background, like you can see one of those like, ClickFunnels words with like the X. It's like he pretty much copied exactly what Russell Brunson does, and he made like 10 million from a funnel. And when you look at his videos, he sucks at presentation. It's like he's a horrible presenter. He's a very bad communicator. Yet he used all these techniques to make like a $10 funnel.
Yeah, all of his expertise is in organizing stuff on the page.
Yeah, it's like he's really good at what he does. He just sucks at communication. So
yeah,
my thing is like, I'm totally fine just like literally copying the strategy of using secrets. You want to just do that, or do you want to come up with your own twist?
Yeah, no, let's just straight up copy what's working, and only tweak based on what our actual real life audience is telling us. So it's like, start with the template that's like, we kind of know this works, and then you just keep evolving it from there. So yeah, I think you're spot on.
In that case, here's what I suggest. Step one would probably start fleshing out the course using what you just mentioned, the like secrets strategy. Once that's done, I can start going ahead and building out the webinar funnel using the information that we have now. And like you said, like as we go along and we learn and get feedback from our audience, then we can go ahead and tweak everything. I find like it's so much easier to go in and tweak something than it
Mhm.
is to wait till we have like everything and understood before we actually do the funnel. So I think like if we do the outline, then I have the information necessary to create the funnel. And I'm thinking like super simple webinar funnel. So like curiosity opt-in page of like, hey, the like, I don't know, 3 secrets to launch, grow, and monetize your Facebook group in 5 minutes, or like something
Mhm.
like, and then like, you know, sign up for the webinar, web class, or whatever we want to call it. We can try different titles for that, but you know,
Mhm.
that simple opt-in page, then the webinar, and then the sales page. And the webinar and the sales page are pretty much going to be the same thing. Like it's going to follow a very similar structure, so we can reuse a lot of things for that. So like what I suggest is step one, we really flesh out the course so we know what's included.
Mhm.
Then I go in and start building the funnel and the sales page using all that information and every like the structure that they teach in the books. And
Mhm.
then I can go ahead and start fleshing out the webinar script using the exact PowerPoint that he provided and just like filling in the blanks. And then you can kind of like go in and refine it and tweak. And once we're satisfied, we just have to like go in, you record the webinar,
Mhm.
and webinar is live and sales page is live, and that's it. We're done. And I think like it sucks in a way, like doing all that work and then it's like, well, we're probably gonna have to tweak it a bunch of times. But since like the webinar is going to be live in the beginning, like
Mhm.
we can easily tweak it every time anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I think for now, to really start like getting movement and moving forward and starting to get things set up, I think, sorry, I think that would be the best strategy for now. What do you think?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Um, I think we should do this from the beginning also. And it's to set up like an affiliate to like program on the back end of this. Not like to get our clients to like monetize it, but it's like the second that we get a partner who's like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm going to promote your thing to your audience, like we don't have to pay. Our deal is you get 50%
Mhm.
commissions on all sales.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say is like I think some of the groups that I'm going to target, I want to really I want to work on the strategy of like making friends with the group owner or using the groups that I know with the owners and saying, hey, I'd love to have your help promoting this to your people. And, whatever we make from this, we want to give you, like, it's your audience. So you deserve, a cut.
Yeah, because I feel like this is better for multiple reasons. First of all, it doesn't cost us anything up front.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, this is going to get us better quality audiences,
Mm-hmm.
because anyone who's not willing to, get paid on commission somehow knows like, well, I don't know how well my audience is going to respond to this, so I don't want to risk it. I want to get
Right.
paid front. So if they're
Right.
not willing to get paid on commission, it means that their audience is not a right fit for what we have to offer.
Right. They're not, yeah, they don't understand their audience well enough to know that it would be beneficial for them and for their audience and for us.
Yeah, because I feel like, upfront, let's say it's a 10,000 person list.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I'll charge you 1,000 upfront. Yeah, okay,
Mm-hmm.
but if it's a 10,000 person list and it's a good offer for your list,
Mm-hmm.
you make like 50%. Let's say you make 3 sales, well, you just made $500 more than if we paid you
Mm-hmm.
upfront. So it's like, if you have a good audience that's a good fit for this,
Yeah.
as the promoter and the owner of the audience, you know that you're going to make way more money by being an affiliate than by being
Mm-hmm.
paid up. So it's like, that's kind of like the entry barrier of like, if
Mm-hmm.
you're not willing to do affiliate, then it means that you don't have a good audience, it's not a good fit, or you're just not good enough at what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, of course, like we don't need to tell them that, but that's like, I think that's the strategy we need to go with. It's
Yeah.
more advantageous for everyone. So I feel like if we have people with good lists or good audiences,
Mhm,
and we offer 50% on a very, very good offer that's a good match for their audience,
mhm.
they're gonna know like, hey, if I make like 10 sales from this, I just made $5,000. So I think, yeah, I think that would be the best strategy, which is why we kind of need that professional funnel from the get-go. Even
Mhm.
if we know we're going to tweak it as we go along and it's
Right.
like it's perfect, as long as we have that, it's like,
Mhm.
okay, it looks good. It follows the proper structure, even if the copywriting, like copy isn't perfect yet for our target audience, as long as like it looks professional and it hits all the right points or like the selling points, if you will. I think like even if it's not perfect, we're still going to be able to convert.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Especially like with that irresistible offer that we came up with. Like as long as someone's interested in building a Facebook group for their business, even if the copy isn't perfect, we're able to convey that message of like, hey, this is what we're
Yeah.
offering. Like it might just be so irresistible that they get to the end and they're like, yeah, okay, I need this. All right, so do you want to get started right now, like starting to plan out the course, or do you want to do that some other time?
Let's do it.
All right, let me go turn on my computer. This is nice because I've been like yesterday, I was just feeling like useless. I'm like, I know I should be working. I want to work. I just don't know what to do. And also, the more that I'm like realizing, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do that, I'm realizing like your part of the business is probably going to require more work than mine, unfortunately. So I'm always trying to find like, all right, how can I take on some of the work so Aaron doesn't have to do everything? But at the same time, I'm like, I need to focus on what I do best.
Mhm.
So I was thinking like, oh, okay, if we want to like, let's say, use Facebook to drive traffic to our offer, I'm like, well, I could run the Facebook, I mean, the YouTube, I could run the YouTube channel and be in charge of that.
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't want to be locked into that. I don't want to be locked into having to do like X amount of YouTube videos every single day or every single week.
Mhm.
It's like, since this course is focused on Facebook, it would make sense to use Facebook to market because people are already there. The dog's in the driveway, like digging through the rocks. Oh, and now he's lying down in the small hole that he made. Like, why would you go lie down in the rocks when there's grass and there's places you can lie down? All right, just spit on the screen. Great. All right. I guess step one is, what's the name? Are we sticking with 5-minute Facebook group?
So what I put on the land page is, let's see here, launch your group. So the
But I
5-minute
feel like yeah,
Facebook
the
groups.
Facebook group is good. It's like launch your group in 30 minutes. And then the next step is, hey, do you want us to show you the entire process of like you launch, you grow, you monetize. These are all the strategies. This is the step-by-step doing it before you. So it's like the Facebook group is kind of like the jumping in point.
Yeah.
So the name doesn't have to be the same. So let's see. What we're offering is launch, grow, and monetize your Facebook group 5. That's not really a nice sounding title, but that's what we're offering. So how can we tweak that to make it sound like a good, like short, catchy title that conveys the point we're trying to make?
Here, I'm going to share this thing that I've been working on. So when you say title, you're talking about for the course?
Yeah. Like, that's fine. We don't need to figure it out exactly now, but that is an important part of it.
Right.
By the way, can you send me that link in Messenger? Because I'm on Zoom
Oh,
on my phone.
sure.
The computer.
Messenger, Facebook. There we go.
Speaking of Facebook groups, I just got a notification from that Facebook group that I started last year. You know, the introvert superhero thing. There's 14 people in it. I've never done anything with the group.
Dang.
All right.
All right. So for the actual course, I feel like there is going to be some challenge and element to it. I mean, people don't have to do it as a challenge, but I mean, that seems to be a pretty consistent way to attract people who are in the mode of taking action, and it gives you a specific time frame to be able to communicate. So I was thinking about something like a
Wow, you already have a lot of stuff here.
yeah, I've been whittling it down with, you know, feedback and stuff from people. There's some stuff that I need to write out or build out to today, but like what we're doing right now is one of the things that one of the girls that is like a potential buyer, she said it would really help me to know like exactly what am I getting, like what's the course going to be covering. Because one of the things she's like, everybody promises you can get clients from a Facebook group, but like how? She's like, you don't have to explain exactly how it works, but like, can you tell me in the page that like I'm gonna cover this, you know, and we're gonna go over the fundamental, like whatever it is that like. So the course, I think, is the course description, I think is something that people really want. And I was looking at some swipes of, oh, let me share my screen. So this is what you were. What's that?
You've been working on this. I feel super lazy.
Well, when it's the right thing to work on, it's like it's easy to do.
Yeah.
Looking at Michael Hyatt's, I think it's this one. No, where is it? Walk away and watch it grow. Is it this one? Yeah. So Michael Hyatt has been around a while. He has a whole bunch of stuff, and he's kind of a high-end consultant. But this is what I would like to see us brainstorm for the course, and we can keep tweaking it based on feedback and stuff as well. But so what he's selling is like grow your business and like take yourself out of the business, basically. So he's saying like walk away and watch it grow. Like that's the big promise. And so he's talking about leadership development, basically, like how to delegate, hand things off, keep the main thing the main thing. So this is what I think we need to build. It's like some of what you'll learn includes how to cut your work week and get out of day-to-day management while maintaining ultimate control of a growing company. So, okay, he didn't say the how, he just said, this is what you're going to learn.
Mm-hmm.
how to actually take a vacation with complete certainty your business will not fall apart in your absence. It's like, okay, that's a great outcome. Like he's just listing outcomes, but that's what the course chapters or like the training videos should be. It's like we're talking about the stuff that they want, not today we're gonna create a Facebook guide. It's like how to teach your people to invite for you or something, whatever. But I think this is a good demo of the way to, this is what people are wanting, is like, I need to have a grasp of like what's in the course. And so these are some of the things that they might say, this is what I want. This is what I am looking for it to have. And so you're basically just listing those kinds of things. So one of the girls I talked to said that just the promise of like, launch your group in 5 minutes a day is, I made it. I've got the same thing open on both of these. I don't want actually this. Here, launch your group in 30 minutes. So like the idea of doing this in 5 minutes a day. The version of like this land page started off trying to sell the course, and what I ended up actually tweaking this whole first page is really just ad to get them into the group. And so I'm trying to figure out, like in the funnel flow, we were talking a little bit about let me scroll down here. It's like, so the customer journey is like cold traffic or very lukewarm people who may not know me super well. And then, so if I'm posting a picture or a text post in a group, it's like, how does this sell them to take the next action? So whether they land on a website funnel or they come to the group, the first thing I really need to sell them on is like, here's why to pay attention long enough that this is going to be worth your while. And so I've really been narrowing this to like, get your group launched in 30 minutes. And so the 5 minutes a day is kind of like an ongoing commitment. So I feel like that should really come after they've had the experience of like, all right, I just need to get moving, and like, oh man, I got a group started and this was really easy and I've been putting this off for months. It's like, if I could keep going, keep building this out and refining it in 5 minutes a day, then it's like they're willing to buy in. Now, based on,
yeah, I see what you mean. That makes sense.
So that's the thought. But based on what I showed Haley the other day, like this said, let's go to the history. Version history. Let's see here. June 23. So this is what I showed Haley before, was like, do you want consistent clients? So here's your launch, grow, and get clients in 5 minutes or less. If you're ready to get consistent offers, this is going to help you grow your Facebook group in 5 minutes a day. So I was really just pitching the idea of like, I'm going to show you how to build a client getting Facebook group in 5 minutes a day. It's going to just be sit down and do it. And we're not going to do tons and tons of theory. And she was like, that's exactly what I need. I'll even pay money for stuff that I know how to do, but like it needs to be simple enough that I can just actually get it done. And so she was like, I'm sold on that idea. One of the girls that I've been refining this, and maybe this is not a good idea. This was like for people who don't know me or haven't don't trust me yet. It's like this is something sort of believable. It's like, okay, I kind of know a little bit how I might start a group, but like if I could get it done in 30 minutes, like that seems like a believable offer and promise. And it's like, if it doesn't work, they've only wasted 30 minutes. Like I'm imagining what their journey is like right now. So this is more to like entice somebody who's not 100% on board. Go ahead.
I'm just wondering, what if, I mean, maybe that's dumb because that would be, or that would be tweaking the webinar format. But what if instead of just having normal webinar where it's like, hey, this is, you know, a brief overview, here's all the benefits, and then we, the whole process is just selling the idea and then selling the course. What if instead it's like, first part of the webinar is we're teaching you and showing you live how to launch your Facebook group. So if you follow along, by the end of this, you will have launched your Facebook group. And then the course is a follow-up of like, all right, you launched your group, now what? Like I created this entire course teaching you exactly how to like grow your group and monetize your group and automate. So maybe the launching part is like the launching the group isn't even part of the course. Like it can be like a prologue section of like, hey, if you haven't launched your course yet, here's how to do it.
Right.
If like at this point you should already have a course set up or like a group set up. So like here are the steps you need to follow. So it's like we could include that, but it wouldn't be part of the pitch. Like the like because I know there's a lot of value to providing, well, value up front of like, hey, I'm teaching you how to do this. The next logical step is now that I have a Facebook group, how do I grow it? How do I monetize it? How do I eventually automate it so I can step away and it keeps generating income and clients for me and I don't do anything?
So you think maybe we should just go straight to selling like a low tick? Hey, we're gonna do a workshop. It's gonna be $27. We're gonna get your group launched on this work during this workshop like in under an hour. So we're gonna walk everybody through. All right, go here, do this. We're just breaking down the steps so that they're seeing like a bit of the process of how simple it is. And then at the end of the workshop, like they have a group built, and it's like, okay, I feel like I got something done.
Unless we keep the webinar as it is. So it's like, not as it is, but it's like a tweaked version of like, you know, the typical perfect webinar structure of like, hey, sign up for the webinar, then, you know, you attend the webinar and the webinar is just teaching you the framework and pitching you the course. And then at the end, you buy the course. So the training would come beforehand. That's how we warm up the audience. It's like, hey, this is the free training on how to launch your Facebook group in 30 minutes. And then at the end, you soft pitch the webinar of, all right, now that you have a group, what do you do? Well, it's a lot more complicated. Like it's a lot more overwhelming for most people, the steps that come after, which is why I created a simple course that teaches you step by step how to do everything that comes after. So how to grow, how to monetize, how to automate your group. And I've structured in such a way that it only takes 5 minutes per day. And you kind of like soft pitch, it's like you warm them up by providing that free value, showing, like teaching them how to launch the group. And that leads into the webinar. So I think that would work really well.
So, and let me see. So free.
The thing is, like when you're providing free value, I feel like you can easily, like group owners are like, you're going to teach my audience how to launch their Facebook group within 30 minutes for free. Well, yeah, sure, share it to my group. It's like there's no downside. It's going to be easy to spread that around. And since you're providing value up front, we're only going to get qualified, interested people who attend the webinar. And the conversion is going to be way higher. And I just feel like that's a really good structure. One of the people that I was looking at the case studies, of like the 30 people who built a $1 million funnel,
Mhm.
that was one of the strategies they used. They're like, hey, we had a webinar in the beginning and it was converting at like 2%. Then we warmed up the audience first by using this exact strategy of like, hey, we're teaching you something. And then we promote the webinar on the back end, and their conversion rate went from 2% to 20%.
Wow.
Because the audience was warmed beforehand. So it's like, if we structure this in the right way, we could skip that first step of 2% and immediately be at 20%. Like, not necessarily like that number, but I mean, like, we skip that learning phase in the beginning.
So
And
let
I
me see
feel
if
like once we get to ads, you teaching, like, hey, I'm going to teach you live right now for free how to launch your Facebook group. And like, that's the ad. At the end, it's like, hey, if you want to like learn how to grow it, how to monetize it, and how to automate it so you can step away. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in 5 minutes per day. Well, just click on the button below, and then like that sends them to like the webinar. So it's like, I feel like that strategy works whether it's paid advertising or free advertising. And I think it's the same, even when we start doing like solo ads, it's like, hey, can you promote this free training to your audience? And on the back end, there's a like $1,000 course attached to that, and you make 50% commission on every sale that you generate from that.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, so I feel like, yeah, if we adjust the course and it's like the launching group or the launching phase of the course is still going to be included, but it's not really part of the course. We don't really like sell that as a thing. Like, we can if we want to, like mentioning it's like, okay, if you don't have a Facebook group, we've also included a section showing you how to launch your Facebook group. So it's like, even if people come there and like they're cold traffic, they still know like, okay, yeah, I'm going to learn how to launch this group myself. But yeah, I feel like that would be advantageous because we're literally like breaking off a part of a course, giving it to people for free. And that's the process of warming up. And like, they get to know us, they get to like see like, oh, they provide value. What's the next step? Oh, well, the next step is obviously growing the course and monetizing it and eventually automating it. Well, let's at least go check what his strategy is for that. And that's the web pitches. Yeah, I think that would work really well.
So the idea is teach them how to launch their group in a workshop, like either free or low cost workshops. So it's like, we're going to get this first checklist item off of your to-do list. So then that leads into a free webinar. And the whole point of that webinar is to sell them into the launch your group grow your group in 5 minutes a day membership or course.
I think course. I don't know if membership would make sense.
I don't know. But I guess we can ask.
Because I feel like I don't know, because I feel like the whole point is, like you said before, people want like an end. They want a finish line.
That's true.
Even though, yeah, it's only 5 minutes per day, but they're thinking like, if it's 5 minutes per day for the rest of my life, I don't want to do that to myself.
Yeah. Yeah, so we could do like
but it's like, if it's like automation or delegation is part of the course, and part of like what we pitch is like, hey, we're going to teach you how to grow the group, then how to monetize it, then how to either delegate or automate it so you can step away. And we're going to do that entire process only 5 minutes per day. So it's like, it's super easy. It doesn't take a lot of time. And there's a clear finish line at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds, I mean, I think a course is the right move. And then you can do a membership as like an ongoing support thing for people who really want, for people who are making money.
As an upsell of like, hey, we're going to teach you like how to automate, how to grow, how to monetize the group. And then on the automation, if you don't want to like handle any of that,
Yeah.
just sign up and it's like $100 a month. And like, we take care of finding a VA and training them and getting them set up, and they're going to run your Facebook group on the back end.
Hmm.
So it's like, we don't need that in the beginning, but if we want to have like recurring up like sales and revenue
Right.
on the back end, we can always do that.
Yeah. Sort of like the people who are going to be in the membership are going to be the ones that this is working for and making money from it.
Yeah. But
So
I feel
the
like
goal
we really
is,
need any kind of recurring like model in the beginning. That's more on the back end.
yeah.
Once we figure out what do people really want that would
Mhm.
make sense as a recurring offer that we can charge for.
Yeah. Okay. So 5 minutes a day.
Oh, so to come back to what we were talking about before, like what they'll learn in the course, I think we should have that question or that section, but we should structure it in a, here's what you'll learn. So it's like, you'll learn how to do this, and it's like benefit, benefit, benefit. And then another column, it's like, and you'll learn how to not do this. And then it's like something that they're wanting to avoid, or
Right.
something they're struggling with right now. So it's kind of like, because the whole point is like, are they running away from pain or running towards pleasure? Well, I think it's kind of both. So if we
Mhm.
cover both, then it seems even more valuable, and we get both the people who are running away and the people who are running towards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this. So it's like, this is perfect. Like the Facebook group, it's like launch a group in 30 minutes. The whole point is like, I'm going to help you launch your group. And then whenever we want, like, it's like we either soft pitch or hard pitch, or it's like, hey, this is the next step. And the next step is a course that we created showing you exactly what to do once you have your group.
Hmm.
Because that could literally be it. Like, we can use it in a bunch of different ways. We could have, like, you could literally have this pre-recorded. You don't even need to do it live. Like, you can, if you want, kind of like interact with people and get feedback and know what they want and what they need.
Yeah.
You could just record yourself like a 30-minute video of like, all right, I'm going to teach you how to launch your Facebook group. We're going to go step by step. I'm going to record my screen. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. All you need to do is follow along and do it yourself. And you can pause the video if ever like you need a little more time.
Hmm.
And it's like that. You can then take that video and have it like pinned at the top of the group. And one strategy would be going in groups, and it's like, hey, I created this like 100% free training teaching you how to do that. Just like join my group, like my free Facebook group, and like you're gonna get the training plus like extra like stuff. Like if we had a few bonuses for joining the group, then we can grow the group with that strategy, or we can literally use that free training to like entice anyone. We can like post in other groups or ask people to send it to their newsletter, like however we want. We can even post it on YouTube and be like, hey, how to launch your Facebook group in 5 minutes. And then in the beginning, we just link back to the Facebook group, like in the description. And later on, once we have the funnel, then we kind of like tweak the video a bit, or like change the link, and it's like, it sends them to the funnel instead. It's like, all right, you have your Facebook group. What now? Well, this is the next step. I think like that would make sense. So it's kind of like mini training on the front end, which teaches you the process. And once you've done it, you're like, all right, cool. What now? It's like, well, now you want to grow it. Now you want to monetize it. Eventually, you're going to want to automate it so you don't have to keep doing this all the time. And it's like, well, you can go out and figure it out yourself, or I can show you how to do that. And I'm realizing like that's the strategy that, you know, I don't know if they're still doing that because I haven't been participating in any of them, but you know, last year and the last like 2 years, it's like challenges were super popular. It's like, it's that basic principle. It's like, let me teach you step one in this challenge. The course that I'm selling on the back end is step 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, this makes sense. This is logical. All right, so it's no longer how to launch, grow, and monetize your group. It's how to launch, to grow, monetize, and automate your Facebook group in 5 minutes. And it's like the launching it is going to be a part of the course too, but that's not what we're selling, because by then most people will have a group.
Yeah, I think the launching, honestly, like, I think you're right. It's like that's essentially the lead magnet, and that's the like that's what I can offer to people's audiences. Like, hey, I've got this training that will help you launch a group like in 30 minutes, or whatever it ends up being based on the market. But it's like Brian's training, I think, is a great place to warm people up. So he explains how to structure it and plan it, so that it will grow the way that you need it to monetize it. And then he offers a weekly implementation support. And so that's literally what this could be, is like, all right, so if you've gone through the training, or like if you've gone through his essentially like philosophical workshop, then the sit down and launch your actual group is going to take, we can do that in 30 minutes. And then you need to be like handpicking the right people to start it. So, I mean, I'm essentially doing that myself with this. It's like I'm really only going after people who are interested in building and growing groups. Like that's who the market is for what we're building, because the thing after that, the course, is going to be keep growing and making money out of your group. So if that's something you want support with, then like I'm only getting people who are wanting to build and grow a group. If people are just like curious on what's the point of growing your group, and they just watch because they want to find out, it's like that's not who I'm targeting. So
Yeah, I think if people are asking like, why do I need to grow and monetize and automate my Facebook group, it's like they're not advanced enough that we want them as a client. Like they don't even see the value of that.
yeah.
So I think like if we have something like 5-minute Facebook group as the title or something like that, and then the head, like the subtitle is like how to grow, monetize, and automate your Facebook group in 5 minutes per day, as an example. The title is short and catchy, but it doesn't completely describe everything. And then the subtitle is like, okay, this is what you're getting.
Right. So the let's see here. So the group OS system that Brian did, like that's going to handle prep and launch. So we're really focusing on grow, monetize, automate.
All right, so how should we structure this? We should definitely have a section of like launching the group for the people who haven't gone through the training, or just want to go through that process again to make sure they did everything right. Then we have the automation section, then we have the monetization section, and then we have the automation section. feel like we should structure the first section, so the launch section differently, to show like, hey, this is like a bonus prologue course that like you go through if you don't already have a group. But if you already have a group, you can skip that and directly go to step one, which is
Mhm.
grow your. So how do we like structure that?
Say that again. What is it we're trying to
Like,
structure?
the main course is divided into 3 parts: grow, monetize, automate. But we also have that 4th part, which is launch, which is kind of like a prologue to the course for anyone who doesn't already have a group.
Right. Hmm.
But it's not necessarily part of the group. It's like, if you already have a group, you don't need to go through that training.
Right.
So it's like, I want to make sure that it's structured and presented in such a way that people understand that it's like, it's part of the course, but I don't need to do it unless I don't have a group yet.
Right. Okay. So what comes up for me is like the launch stuff will be kind of like a vault type resource. It's like most people are not gonna go back and need that, but it's like it's there as a reference. I think something that would be helpful is like a re-engage your group um, section. So it's like not everybody will need this, but if you're coming in and you have a group, you have a handful of people in there and they're not really that engaged, they're maybe not perfectly ideal prospects. How do you re-engage and retarget those people so that you can maybe trim some of the people that are really bad fits and then get the people who are there re-excited about the movement that's going to start happening, and give people a chance to kind of opt out of what you're doing so that you start with a stronger core of people. So
Okay,
it's like
so is that something that you
re-engage.
feel everyone should do? Or just
No, this will be
like
like
if they have a responsive group?
um that no, that's really only like if you have a group and it's dead. Like,
Okay, so I feel like we should probably have like an intro video of like, hey, watch this first, it's important. And in there we explain like, all right, the main course is the grow, monetize, and automate. However, if you don't have a course yet, if a group yet, we've created this special like bonus section where you can go in and launch your group. We walk you through step by step. So it's like, if you don't have a group yet, go to that section, do that first. If you have a group, but it's not really responsive, it's like kind of dead, then go to the like revive your Facebook group section, watch that training, go through that first, and then go back to step 1 and start the course. If neither of those things apply to you, then you can just jump right into step 1, start growing your group.
yeah. So essentially we'll need like part of the course will be like onboarding. It's like diagnosing where they need to start. So if you have a group and it's dead, check out the re-engagement fire starter. If you just launched and you already have some decent fits that are kind of at the beginning, like you want to start with the grow part of the course. Anybody who's inside the 5 minutes a day course should have already launched a group. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to have that material in it because they'll probably have access to it through some other way.
Yeah, but I feel like that can just like, that can even be a bonus. Like
Yeah.
on this page, that can be in the bonus section of like, hey, we're selling this, but it's like, if you don't have a course yet, we create an entire section, an entire training, like a separate course that we included with teaching you how to launch your Facebook group.
Yeah, that's true.
And then let's see. And the other one is how to your Facebook group back to life.
Zombify your Facebook group. zombie selling. The zombie selling method that turns dead groups into rabid buyers. So dumb.
So we have three main parts. So grow, monetize, automate, then a bonus course, if you will, on how to launch your Facebook group, and a bonus course on how to bring your group back to life.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we're gonna also need an intro section where we have a video explaining that, like, hey, there are three scenarios you can find yourself in. Depending on which scenario you're in, go to this section, or this section. And I guess we should have an outro section, or I don't know how we want to call that, but it's like, once they're done everything, it's like, all right, you went through the entire course, what now? Well, if you want, you can go through the bonuses, or I don't know, just like explain like, hey, congratulations on going through the course. Like, please let us know if you have any feedback or any thoughts or anything you need help with. If you want to like get more value, here's the next step or whatever makes sense.
Sorry, say that again. I wasn't following what you were. What about about the next steps?
Well, I'm not sure what that would be. So the next step could be like, hey, now you can go through the bonuses. Like, we recommend these specific bonuses. They can help you do this and that.
Oh, if
Or it can be like,
after the course.
yeah, like that are included with it. Like that's going to be later on, but I feel like it'd be good to have an outro video like, hey, congratulations on completing the course.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your next move, pretty much, instead of just being like, because I find it weird when the course is over and it's like, it's over, that's it, there's like nothing at the end. It's like they never close the loop, you know?
Right.
So I feel like it's important to open the loop so it's clear. It's like, hey, welcome, we're going to walk you through step by step everything. Here are your three options, select whichever one's best for you. And then they go through whatever training and then like go through the course. It's like we can have the same thing at the end, like the bonus launch your Facebook group. It's like at the end, there's a video of like, all right, now that you have a group, you're ready, you can go back and start step one, grow your Facebook group. Or like same for bring your Facebook group back to life. It's like, all right, now that you revived your Facebook group, you can go back and begin the course at step one. All right, so intro.
What the heck is wrong with this?
What?
My Google Docs is like keeps turning the highlighter on.
Oh, hold on, let me. It was open at my end, so I closed it. Maybe that was it.
No, I was in a different doc.
Oh, okay.
Let me try going back. Let's see here. Oh, now my browser's freaking out. All right.
Do we want anything else in the intro section? We just want like one simple video of like, hey, here are your three options. Either you launch your group if you don't have one, where you go to that section. Either you revive your group if you have one, but it's dead, then you go to this section, or you start the group or start the course now if you already have a group and it's alive. Then you go to like step one and you begin there. Do we need anything else included in that intro section? I'm gonna take that as a no.
Doubt. I don't think so.
Okay, we can always come back and add stuff. So, all right. Section 1, grow. What are the like subsections or the different topics we're going to cover?
So how to invite individuals to your group to invite multiple people to your group. Bridge other people audiences. Welcome people to get to welcome. To okay. This should be the framework.
Man, that's small.
It's how to do it yourself. Like this has to be done in order to grow your group or monetize your group or whatever. But like how you need to do it, and then how to show like how to create it in a way that's valuable for your community to do it for you. It's like it's like first you have to start by doing it, you model how it happens, and then you hand the responsibility off to the group. So it's really like you show how to do it a few times, and then it's like, okay, now make your VA do this. Now you create a resource for your audience so they start modeling the same behavior.
Okay. Should we create like a special, like, I don't know, I don't use Google Docs, so I have no idea how they work, but can we create like a special folder and just have like all the docs related to the business there? That way we can both easily access them and go in and like kind of like tweak stuff if we need to.
Sure.
I guess I need to learn how to use Google Docs.
This with Guillaume. Your Guillaume Save at Hotmail, is that your email that you prefer?
Yep.
All right, editor. Move this to 5-minute Facebook groups. Yep. We're going to move this to 5-minute Facebook groups. This to 5-minute Facebook groups. that. Okay, let's see here. I feel like we're doing this the hard way. Let's take a look at some of the stuff that I built with Phoenix.
I don't remember writing this at all. But apparently on October 6, 2018, I wrote like a very short, like mini story letter or whatever. Like it's worded like it's kind of like a love letter, but turns out that at the end it's from like my keyboard. I don't remember what I wrote that for.
That's
Wow.
hilarious.
Okay. Oh man. Wow, 4 years ago.
New document
Remove.
5. Course outline. Move this to 5-minute Facebook groups. Yep. And then I want to let's look at some courses.
Okay. I was reading another one and I'm like, yeah, okay, I remember what that was from. My friend back in the day had like a writing group thing and he invited me and I went a couple of times and those were like exercises that we were doing. All right. Open. All right, and I guess I'll save that. A note. Where do I add this? I don't know. Oh yeah, by the way, that reminds me. I just saw one of the shortcuts, but you know that like manifestation course thingy that I got that I'm like, it seems kind of sketch, but whatever. There's like 365-day guarantee. So I'm like, I can try it for a year. And if I'm not satisfied, it's like I started going through the training. It's like, yeah, it's bad. So contacted them to get a refund, didn't hear back, reached out again, didn't hear back. So I ended up having to contact my bank and like file a dispute with them.
Wow.
So yeah, I guess next time when it seems sketch, I should just save time and money and not buy it.
What was it about? Oh, snap. Okay, so you are one of my target customers, like somebody that is similar to me, that like they can understand what I'm talking about, what I'm doing. Like you personally don't particularly want to build a group, but like you're the kind of person that I really want to attract. Like I want to find artist types, people who understand ideas and feelings enough, like similarly, that I can communicate ideas across. Because if I can find the people that are similar to you, like target people that are kind of like that, kind of people like that are in our mastermind, like with Jessica and Bobby. Like those are the artist kind of people that I want to work with long term. It's like, so like all of this is like, I think we're gonna make money with this, but like the next level of this is I wanna do this process again and start really actively forming. It's like, can I get the kind of people that I can build something creatively with? And since you and I are already collaborating, it's like we already know that that's the kind of person that I mesh well with, because there's a lot of action taking happening here. So anyway, long story short is I would love to do a session and kind of look at all the stuff you've bought in the last few months and like see what kind of patterns pop up. Like, what is it about the things that, because you were saying like the one you did was like kind of crappy looking, or like it seems sort of sketchy, and you know there's other things that was like, okay, yeah, like I really didn't have any interest. I was just curious like about the marketing, but like by the time I got through it, like I was like, oh snap, this is really a good deal. So I'm like, what is it about all of these different things that is helping you convert? Like what is the common thread between them? And is it just having enough resources lined up and in place, or is there something about the way that each of these things that you've bought into, like, is there a specific way that they're messaging that is getting you to buy?
I mean, yeah, we could definitely go in there.
We don't have to do it right now. I just wanted to kind of put it out there,
yeah,
so that it was something
interesting.
better to do.
Let me see. How do I use? There we go. Bullet. So I'm just going in and adding the things that I have on my end, so everything's at the same place.
Yeah. Oops.
Oh. All right. And then grow. Yeah, you already have that. You already know the strategy, so I don't need this here anymore. So I'm just transferring everything over to that one doc, so everything's centralized.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
All right. And then it's annoying because I was trying to copy and paste it. Unfortunately, it wouldn't allow me to do it. It's like, oh, you need to install it like in Chrome in order to be able to copy, paste, and do that stuff.
Right.
All right, so right. Let me just use the same formatting that you use so everything's consistent and looks good, because it's super important. Anyway, you can keep, can we both edit the document at the same time?
Both edit the document. Yeah, it looks like it.
All right, because then if you want, I can just transfer everything I have over to this while you kind of keep fleshing out the rest of the course, because you're the one who knows what that's going to look like anyway. Do you want me to include the fire, like re-engage fire starter as part of the name?
We can call it whatever later. I'm just calling it that because like I know I have a like a master class. That's what I sold it as. So I know it converts at least like that, but we can call it something else.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
So
Grow, and then we have the automate. No, the monetize. And then we have automate. Conversion, what was that? Which section is?
So this framework is the thing that Felix and I worked on. It's like, so why aren't groups making money, or like why is there no community? It's like, okay, you have to have engagement, you have to have growth, and you have to have conversion if you want like a successful group that can make you money. So that's essentially like what should be in the courses talking about. Like the automation, the idea of this is once you build out all the stuff, enough things should be in place that it will kind of run itself. The automation is essentially it's organic automations. Like you build in the right culture to your group, and that's what automates things. So, I mean, obviously you can use tech to scale the automation. But this is sort of, it's like the first level of automation. It's like, as soon as you build something, hand it off to people and you're done. So this is really like the re-engage.
Like organic automation. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, organic automation. That sounds, all right, let's see here. All right, let's see. Grow. So maybe let me call this engagement, and then we'll, oops. First one will be organic autumn. Wait, maybe is that under growth, or let's see, engagement would be, I don't know where that would go. Let's see here. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, so for growth.
By the way, for Google Docs, does it automatically save or do I have to manually save?
Yeah, it just automatically saves all the time.
Perfect. Because I'm used to not saving anymore because I have OneDrive. So I'm in Word work, I don't need to ever save.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the same with Google Docs.
I think most of the stuff that I use now automatically saves. I don't know why that feature hasn't been built into software since like the dawn of time. Well, I guess because the space limitations back when like you physically had a limited amount of space.
Yeah, like the best example for me is in video games. Like when you had to reach a checkpoint and manually save.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. That was like, especially when you had to like go to a location to do it.
Yep. I remember like back in the old days when I first bought my first console, it was a PlayStation 2. And the guy's like, oh, do you want like a memory card? I'm like, yeah, what is that? And he kind of like briefly explained it. I'm like, no, I'm okay. And then I started playing. I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. Yeah, I need one.
Man, I remember like old. Anyway, okay, so let's see here. So the framework is growth boils down to you invite and group invites. How to invite individuals to your group, how to invite multiple people to your group, how to teach people to invite, how to leverage other people's audiences. So let's put this here. Whoops. Can I make this number 1? Oops. How to teach people to invite. Okay, let's see how your community should invite. How your community should promote welcome members. Oh, that's smart. I don't know how you're doing that, but that's amazing.
It's easier in my head when things look a certain way.
Yeah. Well, it's like clearly I don't know much about word processing software. It's like I'm sure there's an easy way to do that, but like I didn't bother to look it up and I don't know how to do it.
Just like I order stuff like that. So it's like bullet points. It's like, all right, there's main sections and then there's the subsections and then the subs. Like I look at it and my brain's like, all right, I understand how this works.
All right, let's see. Invite individuals to your group. People to your group. I don't know about this one. That doesn't sound like a 5-minute thing. All right, so then let's see here. Row. The leader has to be inviting until critical mass.
So engagement falls in what category? In the
Engagement.
monetize? In the grow? Probably in the grow section?
Engagement falls under. I mean, engagement is kind of one of the big umbrellas. It's like you need to have engagement, conversion, and growth. I think people who understand groups or audience building at least like understand they know they need it. They should have some passing understanding of like engagement is basically relationship building with your audience.
Actually, maybe be in both. It could be in the grow stage and in the monetize stage of like, hey, this is the like what you need to know about engagement. This is how to begin the process. And then monetization is like, all right, this is how you use engagement to start monetizing it. Because now we're going over like the bit, like the outline of the course, but once you break it down, it's literally going to be like, all right, this is step 1, this is step 2, step 3. So it's like I feel like engagement is more like sprinkled throughout. Yeah. Anyway, you like structure it however it makes sense in your head, and then we can always rework it.
Yeah.
Fit in. All right, I'm just gonna go add at the end, like the bonuses that I currently have. All right, fine, I'm gonna install it because this is annoying not being able to post.
Let me try this. Let's see.
I don't know why that's yellow, but okay.
Hmm. So I need to be filtering this stuff through. Can you do it 5 minutes a day? What do you engage with? Oh. Hmm.
Wow, I like it. Who, how, why, wow, when, now. Wow.
Let's see here.
When you, no. I'm trying to pronounce never mind as an acronym, but it's like who. I don't know, it doesn't really work.
See here.
I have nothing else to do, so I'm just tweaking stuff.
Yeah. Um.
I'm just wasting time, basically.
Yeah, I think a lot of this. I think a lot of this course stuff really needs to just be like brain dump, and then actually assemble it based on what people want or what people are looking for. It's like we can get the bones of what I think we'd need to cover. Like this framework, I think covers it in a way that can sell it, but then it's sort of like, what are these people looking for specifically? Like, what do they not know how to do? So if we're targeting people who have clients, people who are making some money, but then it's like, all right, so what part of engagement do you not understand? What, like, can you consistently create posts that get engagement? Or is it, I post stuff and it's like, I don't know what makes things hit and what doesn't. Or I have a group, but whenever I post in there, nobody responds. Like I see people that I know, they post consistently and they don't have any, it seems to me that they don't have any clue what gets results. Like they're just throwing mud against the wall, but they're really disciplined about, like, they just post something every day all the time. I'm like, I'm exhausted to think about just making stuff brand new all the time. But I could tell you right away, it's like, I probably knew that that wasn't going to get any hits. Like, you're not doing anything that anybody wants. It's like, you're just saying stuff. You're not actually, there isn't a lot of reason you're doing that other than to just show up and do it. And it, so, and then there's people who they have a group, they have lots of people, they'll post stuff, and even though it fits with their brand, even though it's very on brand for them, they're not opening a door for like other people to contribute. Like, it's all about me, it's all about my brand. It's like, I'm here showing up as the star, but then they don't create any avenues for dialogue. One of the guys that I follow, he has a group, it's like 1,200 people, 1,300 people or something in his group, and he posts something every day. It's pretty much automated. He has pre-scheduled content. His group is content daily, and so he has like pictures of himself with quotes and stuff, like motivational type things. He posts every single day, and they usually get like 3-4 likes. I'm like, you're not asking anybody else's perspective or opinion. All you're doing is you're posting like an inspirational thought of the day that doesn't ask a question. It doesn't open any loops and create the desire to engage. It's just like, well, that's a cool thought. And
okay.
So there's zero opportunity to engage the way that he's posting stuff. And so it's like, you can be really consistent in front of an audience that knows and likes you and still get zero traction.
Yeah, okay, that reminds me of something Russell was talking about in the book. And it's like the principle of, you need like a cause, you need to create a movement, like something that people buy into. And for him, like he created the funnel hackers like community of like people identified with that, like, I'm a funnel hacker.
Right.
It's like he created that community as opposed to just creating the group. And it's like, oh, this is about ClickFunnels and this like is the business. It's like, no, this is about you. It's about someone who uses ClickFunnels to build their business, to demonstrate who they are. I think that would be, I mean, I don't know, it's your course, you do what you want, but I think that would be a cool like principle if you can explain and walk them through the process of how to create that. It's like, how do I create like a brand? How do I create like a mission for the group? And how do I get people to buy into that? How do I come up with a name that people identify with? It's like, yes, I'm that.
Yeah. So that's one of the things I talked about in this engagement class. And Felix said that,
just
what's
before
that?
I forget, I think that could be our thing. like the like brand that we're selling is like 5-minute entrepreneur. Like I'm a 5-minute entrepreneur. Like that could be the brand we're selling. It's like I want to succeed. I want to help people. I am willing to work hard, but I don't want it to take over my life.
Right.
So I'm a 5-minute entrepreneur. It's like I do the things that matter. I do it quickly and efficiently.
Right.
Because like if that's our brand to become with, like to begin with, then once we expand and we create other courses that fit within that framework, like 5-minute Instagram, like influencer or whatever, it's like they already identify with this is who I am. I'm part of this community. All right, sorry, I just wanted to say that before I forgot because it seemed important. Right, that's not really in the course outline, but it's definitely important. So,
The 5-minute entrepreneur. A 12
oh wow,
podcast. Short but intriguing thoughts about business from someone on the same road as you. So I wonder, eliminate the competition by partnering with, build together for win-win. My secret to dealing with self-doubt. Recorded and published in minutes. Eliminate the competition. Free for what? There's freedom, art of comparison, reasons we don't finish. There's another person that's doing the 5-minute entrepreneur. 5 things to know to kickstart your business. 5 reasons why business failed. 5 unconventional ways to raise money for your idea. 14 videos, 217 views. 6.95 subscribers. Their videos don't get a bunch of stuff. They're kind of all over the place.
yeah, it seems really random. Like,
yeah, this is not a good YouTube channel.
yeah, it's like
If
the
you don't have
name,
any,
the branding is all off. It seems weird.
they need it. They're trying to do too much. It's like narratives matter. Get the GST. I don't know what the GST is.
It's funny how the concept 5-minute entrepreneur is to like, you know, make things simple, and they made things so complicated on their channel.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, they have a content engine in place. They're cranking out stuff like crazy. They just like they need somebody to like strip away 90% of what they're doing and talking about and make it ridiculously clear. This is what this is. And they'd probably see a big improvement in their engagement.
Hey, that's good for us.
Yeah. Like things Nigerian parents say, cryptos versus stocks, accent challenge, what they had to say about, like, there's no connection between any of this stuff. I don't understand. I'm not even seeing the same faces. What is this?
That's so weird.
Bizarre. 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 Bizarre, 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 bizarre. Okay, this is wasting time.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So the list of deliverables, the duration, name of deliverables, description.
Would it help if I just kind of like ask you questions and you answer, and that kind of like helps you to explain it rather than just trying to think of it?
Sure.
All right, so I'll ask you some questions, and as you answer, you'll probably be able to kind of like figure it out. So
Mhm.
do you want to start with the growing the group, or do you want to start with the bonus content, which is technically step one, which is launching the group?
So that again, with starting with the bonus.
Where do you want to
content?
start? Do you want to start with the growing the group or the launching the group? Because launching the group is like a separate bonus, but it technically comes at the start. So do you just want to start at the beginning and kind of like work your way chronologically?
Well, the launching the group, what I covered is, let's see, where's the group? Oh, I have Facebook up already. I have way too many tabs open. Close, 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 close.
Oop, Born, my bad.
This one. This one. And this one. And that. Okay.
By the way, I just want to put that out there. You're a way better teacher than me.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And like, what makes you say that?
Look on the left of your screen. That's what makes me say that.
This?
Yep. Teachers use visuals. I don't teach. I tell stories. You're a good teacher. Like, you're also a good storyteller, but it's like you're a good teacher.
That's helpful. Yeah, I want to do more of this kind of stuff, like unpacking the concepts into something that people can like start to kind of absorb and touch and get. So the guides, the launching the group really just consists of naming your group, and then starting the Facebook group itself. You want to invite people to it. I thought I uploaded the, oh wait, maybe I did. Discussion. Oh, how to pin an offer. Here we go. Add post to guide. Here we go. How to pin an offer. Let's go back to guides and fix this. Hit post. Step 3. Pin an offer.
I'm wondering, should we structure everything as a secret if we want to use that model of like, you know, like let's say for the bonus section, it's like, all right, how to launch your Facebook group. It's like, all right, secret one, how to find the perfect name for your group. So it's like, even though it's obvious, you're literally breaking down like, hey, this is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and they can just take that information and just go and do it themselves. If you present it in such a way of like, this is the, like, I'm going to show you how to come up with a good name for your group. It's not just name your group. It's like, okay, I need this course because I know the step I need to do. I just don't know how to do it.
Right. It's like, okay, so let's do this. I mean, because this is what we're doing right now.
Because I feel like the value of that is if we have that, like in the webinar, you can literally break down everything. So it's like, all right, here are the 4 like major steps you need to launch. then you need to grow, then you need to monetize, then you need to automate. At this point, we already assume that you've launched the group. If not, that's okay. We included a section for that. But it's like, all right, group, like section 1 is monetize. Or sorry, section 1 is grow. So it's like, I don't know what the first step would be in there, but it's like, all right, step 1 is like how to do this. But it's like you present it in such a way that it's not just like name your group. It's like how to come up with the perfect name for your group to attract your perfect client.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if you show them the entire system, the entire step-by-step plan of the course, they still feel like they need the course. They can't just like copy it and go do it themselves. So it's kind of like it, instead of diminishing the value, somehow it increases the value. Because it's like, I'm not afraid to show you exactly everything that I'm going to teach you, but I'm confident that you're still going to want to buy.
Name your group. 5 minutes. Okay, so this is going to be the secret to naming a
All right, so secret.
Repeat your group in 5 minutes.
So I think like, yeah, if we structure it like this, so it's like, oh, okay, you're doing it up there. Okay. I think if we like steal Russell's idea, so it's kind of like something like this. Like keep going, but I'm just gonna like tweak or rewrite the first one to show you what I mean. Hold on. What did I write below? Like something like that, maybe? I don't know, it doesn't matter. So you just go through and like write the steps and we can do the formatting after, like it's not important.
Yeah, like anything like that. I mean, that's sort of what I'm doing here. It's like the secret to making perpetual motion offers. It's like what does that even mean? It's like I'm trying to communicate in more of a feelings way. It's like offers that keep selling for you. It's like, well, okay, so you pin your group to the top of the Facebook group and it's there every time they come into your group. It's like it's always in front of them. But I mean, if you just say how to pin a post, that's not sexy. It's not like, doesn't make you like want to do that step. And so if we're doing this like from a copywriting perspective, it's like every title is essentially a tiny ad to get them to click on the video and do the step.
Yeah, of course, I completely agree of like, you want to sell the result they get,
Right.
not what they need to do to get it.
Right, exactly. So, man, just doing this is gonna like help us level up our selling and copywriting skills so much, even though we're just like, it doesn't even feel like it's the stakes are that big yet, but doing it this way, it's like everything is selling. It's like by the time we get to actually putting together a sales page that converts, like we're already going to be thinking in that frame. And like once we have feedback from people, it'll be like, this thing is going to be a no-brainer. All right, so well, let's just experiment with this. Like, no, we'll just leave this. This is all probably going to change based on what people actually say anyway. So
yeah, and I feel like as long as you're clear on the steps necessary, the exact naming isn't important.
yeah,
I just think like strategy of using like secret one and then like a like enticing description
yeah,
will sell a lot more, and it's very structured. So it's like it sells well, and at the same time, when they go through the course, they're like, all right, secret one, secret 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like it pops out, and it's easy for their brain to understand. Like, okay, this is step 1, step 2, this is step 3. Whereas just like the secret to naming your highly profitable group in 5 minutes, like that's good, but you're like, I don't know which step this is. So it's more like that's why I think once we're actually in and doing it, like when we name it, make sure like, all right, secret one, and then the enticing description of that secret.
right.
And this is good because like my brain is very like analytical, very logical, very visual, and I'm able to structure things very well so it looks well, and people are like, okay, I understand how it works. And then you're good at, well, I mean, you're good at teaching. You're the one who like is the expert at this. I feel like you're better at copywriting than I am.
I think I tend to think and like describe with my feelings more, which is what selling is all about. It's like, can you turn what people need into something that they want?
Actually, you're right and you're wrong. It's both. Because some people buy emotionally, some people buy intellectually. So it's like if you cover the emotional part and I cover the logical part, we pretty much get everyone that way.
All
It's
right.
like perfect.
What else do we need? Okay, so the launch in 30 minutes is 5, 10, 15, 20. Do I only have 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So I probably need a
I just saw a perfect example of an animal tried to market itself to another animal that had no interest. So it's like when you try to market yourself to someone who's not your ideal client, it doesn't work. It's like a bird, like a male bird trying to impress the female, and the female is just like ignoring him, like pecking along, looking for food. And the guy's like, look at me, look at me, look at me.
That's amazing.
So I think the moral of the story is we shouldn't be puffy birds.
The secret to I don't know what this.
Do you think that the launching in 30 minutes should be the exact same thing as the bonus course, or should the launching in 30 minutes be kind of like a condensed version and then the course on the back end is kind of more like a little expanded.
Actually, I think um I mean, for me, if I was doing a group, I'm going to make it how I want it to be anyway. So we need to show them like the bare essentials. And then anything else sort of like, well, I don't know. If you're trying to hand this off to a VA and you want a group that's going to be something like this group experience, I mean, maybe it's like launch a group in 30 minutes and then launch a high-end client getting group in 5 minutes a day. It's like they're two different things. One is like get started quick, and the other one is like it's only going to take you 5 minutes to get this group really like polished. But we're going to like build out all of the stuff that you really need for this group to work well.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because I feel like, yes, the 30 minutes needs to be simple, it needs to be basic, but I'm just wondering, like, do we want to kind of like expand that and cover more? It's like, all right, if someone comes in, they don't have a group, they're starting from scratch. They go through that training. Do we want to be like, just go through like the basic steps that we covered in the 30-minute? Or is it like, okay, this is every single step you need to do to properly launch, to like have a very good group setup? Like, which approach do we want? Do we want like quick results? It's like, all right, quickly go through this training to set up your group and then go through the training and we'll like perfect everything as we go along? Or do we want to get them to like start things off on the right foot, and it might take a little longer, but it's like you set up the basics and it's very strong and very solid. So then when you go through the training and you build on top of that, it's going to be very solid.
I think I want to try and figure out how to get, I don't know if this is possible, but I have a hunch that like I can get the tasks to be, 3 minutes or less. Maybe closer to 2. I hope. Because I do want to be able to provide just a tiny bit of context for the step that we're doing. Because otherwise, if like all that we're doing is, or I guess I don't have to show.
But I feel like it's just the showing process that needs to be 5 minutes. It's like, all right, you can have like a video or a section of the video explaining this is what we're going to do, this is why we're doing it, this is why it's important in the strategy. And then the part of the video or the separate video where it's like, all right, this is how you do it. That part needs to take 5 minutes. Like that's what we're selling. We're not saying that the training itself is going to be 5 minutes.
That's true.
Like
Yeah,
ideally not a 30-minute video to explain what you need to do in 5 minutes.
Yeah. And honestly, like people really don't give a rip about the why to do stuff. Like I do, but I don't know that everybody does. And maybe that would be like, on a weekly call or like
I feel like they
something
need
like,
to
you have
know.
questions.
I feel like they need to know enough to understand why they're doing it. Because it's like, if you just tell them, okay, do this, they're like, cool, I can do it. But if they don't understand why they're doing it, then they're like, well, I'm just going to skip this step. Whereas if it's like, hey, this is the reason why, because it's building up to this thing that we want to create, or it's going to have this result or this impact, like they understand, like, okay, it's important.
Well, that's what this is. Whoops. None of this is right. Name group, start group, brand group. Anyway, that's what the group operating. That's what the group operating system workshop is. It like explains the strategy of how you build a free group that gets leads. It talks about why it works. So anybody coming into this will probably come either from that or from the like launch in 30 minutes thing. So maybe the like part of the indoctrination material, it's like part of the free training in the launch in 30 minutes, like explain some of the methodology of like, this is why stuff, because I think that's what this is. It's like, if you can help people understand, it's like, if you're not making sales from a group, you need to have a group that is engaged. You need to have that group growing, and you need to have a consistent way to convert them into clients. If you don't have those three things, you don't have a group that can sell.
Or we can have like an intro video that breaks that down of like, hey, this is the overarching strategy we're going for.
Right.
That's why we're going to walk you through step by step and everything. It's like, we're
That
going to
should
explain
be,
why everything is wrong.
Yeah, I think I could probably do in 5 minutes, like, or 10 minutes or so, do like this explanation as like the welcome video. Be like, this is what we're here for. This is why this group exists. It's to help you get your thing launched fast. And that's what we cover in our program. It's like helping you manage and maintain a client getting group in just 5 minutes a day. But like, the reason you're not making sales consistently is like, you're not engaging with your people. Like, there isn't enough love in your group where people feel like they understand what they're wanted. There isn't enough safety where there's boundaries about this is what the community is about and this is what it's not about. If you're not growing, you are not inviting people to your group. And if your community is not inviting people to your group's just not going to grow. So either you do it or you teach people how to do it. It's like, that's your only options. Your group's not going to magically grow by itself. But if you start by inviting people, then people have a model for what to follow. They will follow the leader, and then you don't have to invite consistently. And if your whole community starts inviting, if you build a culture of inviting, then Facebook is going to see that your group is growing and say, hey, something's happening here. I will recommend this. Like, the algorithm's going to start doing the heavy lifting for you and recommend it to people who are great fit for your group. So, like, I mean, that's literally what this framework is like, explaining some of the why. And so then if we hit, it's like 15 seconds, like, all right, so today we're gonna show you how to make engagement posts. You need to be asking people about what they think and what they feel to create engagement. If you don't have engagement, your group's not gonna keep growing. Your group's not going to grow if you're not inviting. But if you're inviting and you don't have engagement, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I feel you're right. I feel it's important to include that in, like, at the beginning of the 30 minutes to explain, like, this is the strategy. And then I'm going to walk you through the steps. And by the end, you'll have your group created and launched.
Yeah.
And I think it's also important to explain that at the start, like in the intro of the course itself, like, all right, welcome. Let's quickly go over the 1,000 feet, like, foot overview of what we're going to do.
The start here, like, you probably should know this if you want to use this system. So it's like, this should be the number one, like, desired outcome. It's like the secret to
to a successful Facebook group or something like that.
I mean, this is essentially what.
Yeah.
Secret to how to get consistent clients from your. I mean, we'll find a unique way to say that. That's because everybody says pretty much literally that without any nuance or without any unique mechanism. But it's like, if we can say this and be like, here's the strategy, here's the thought process, and then everything else that they do kind of will make sense in terms of like, well, this is to get consistent clients from it. This is to get consistent clients from it. And it falls under those three umbrellas. Like, so this is going to help me engage people, or it's going to help me grow my group, or it's going to help me convert people into clients. Once they have that structure, that framework in their head of.
So it's kind of like you pre-frame them with your unique methodology.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, we should come up with a name for that. So you can always refer to it as like, okay,
Yeah.
The reason why we're doing this step today is because of that insert name of the methodology here, because we want to build up to that. And it's like, if you have that, like that, I forget what they call it, but it's like that unique, like branded methodology.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it seem more professional and more valuable.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
This is my 3-prong framework for Facebook groups. It's like you have this like catchy name that people like. It's kind of like intriguing, or it's like, okay, I understand. Like every time you refer to that, they're like, yes, okay, I remember. It's this framework that he taught.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's see. Maybe we could do this now.
Something else I was thinking about in the revive your group section.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just like getting the engagement up, or does that also include like going back in and troubleshooting? It's like, okay, you already have a group, but there's something broken here. So let's go through it. Like, is your name right? Is the description correct? Did you pin a post at the top explaining what the group is about? Like, kind of like cover the basics of like, check everything and then fix everything that isn't right.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what we're doing is like, if we flesh out the foundations of what this course covers, then that becomes our diagnosis framework for discovery calls. So like I can do that either as a paid thing, which I have done, or as a like as a free like a workshop or lead magnet or something. It's like, well, let me do a group diagnosis of like, so what's wrong? Like, why aren't you getting consistent clients? Well, we can go down the list and like, oh, okay. So your name doesn't tell anybody anything about the outcome of what you provide. So people aren't sure why to stay in your group. People aren't here engaging because you haven't told them what to expect. Or it's like you're making consistent offers and you're making consistent posts, but there's no consistency and it doesn't line up with the promise of your group. So like we can really rapidly diagnose like what's wrong with people as we've gotten this stuff kind of built out into actual concrete steps. Because like a lot of this stuff is like, it's sort of amorphous. It's obvious to me in terms of like being able to sense it, but once we have language for it where we solidify like this is what we call it and this is how our method uses to deal with it, then all of those conversations of like the sales stuff can like that stuff can work much quicker.
I'm just wondering, like I need to make sure that we're going to cover that in the group. I mean in the course, sorry. Because if people go in and it's like, all right, my course, like I have a group, but it's not engaging, it's not converting, people are active. It's like, I think part of that might be like, okay, let's work on the community for your group, but it's also like, let's go back to the basics and troubleshoot. So it's like having that as an option would be good. So do you think that would be part of the reviving your group?
Well, I think in the onboarding, it's going to be you either have a group already or you don't. So, I mean, like you either just launched your group with like a free resource, or you're getting in here, you're like, I don't have a group, but I'm going to have that up and running here in the next week or so, because we have some resources to get it started fast. So you're either just at the starting place, or you have built a group and you have people and it's not working. So if you're in the not working stage, here's like the diagnosis resources.
How about this? How about when they join in the intro video, we were explaining like, right, you have two options. Either you don't have a group, in which case go to this section and we'll walk you through step by step how to create your group. Option two, you have a group, but it's broken. It's not converting, it's not engaging, there's something wrong. So go to the like fix your group, or no, reset your group, or like kind of like these are the steps you need to go through to make sure that everything is set up properly and it's reset to the right way so that you can then begin the course and start implementing everything that we're shooting or we're telling you. So it's kind of like that process of like resetting your group. You're ready for the course. You're ready to implement everything. Kind of like launch your group or reset your group. I think that should be the two options.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think that the troubleshooting stuff, I think a lot of that can become lead magnet resources. Like, here's the top 3 reasons that groups are not making money. It's like, I mean, here, like, if you don't have high engagement, like, what should people come to your group for? It's just an advertisement for your program. If people aren't there for the community, then it's, you literally only have them as long as you can keep their curiosity. As soon as they're not interested anymore, they're gone. If your group isn't growing, you can be engaging people, but if nobody new is coming, then the perception is going to be that it's not valuable enough to invite people to, and people will lose interest. And if you don't know how to convert, if you can't sell to these people, if you haven't made it clear to them how they're going to benefit, like, you'll have a great growing group of people, but you're not going to make any money. And the whole point of having a group is so that your business can keep marketing itself.
Okay, I feel like if we simplify this and like in the beginning, we have this as like pre-course section of like, instead of 3 options, it's like just 2 options. So either you have a group, you don't have a group, in which case go to this section and we'll teach you how to launch it, or you have a group. Even if you have a group, even if it's successful, we're going to walk you through the steps you need to do in order to prepare your group for what we're going to teach you. And it's like, whichever one is appropriate for you, you go through that training. Then once you complete that, then you begin the course. And that doesn't necessarily have to be divided into like 5 minutes, because it's like pre-work. You're just doing the homework to get everything ready. And then once you begin, it's 5 minutes per day. So that can even be like launch your group in 30 minutes or less. It's like, all right, just go through that step by step and launch your group. If you don't have a group, you already have a group, then just go through this video where we're going to walk you through step by step. Like, okay, this is what you need to do to reset your group. So it's like, they can do it quickly within like an hour. Either of those options will be done. The group will be ready, and then they can officially begin the course. Does that make sense? Ooh.
Let's do it, Jeff. Easier. All right. I was just thinking about, like, I invited people to that like Friday, and so I was like, I probably should have officially welcome people in, and then like start engaging the people that are here, because essentially what I want to do is like chat with each of them and be like, all right, why did you join? What are you looking for? What do you need? So, okay, so what do we need to do next? I'm probably going to take a break here for lunch in a few minutes. But what should be our? I feel like we're doing
The head group option.
What's
I
that?
feel like head group option, like it's going to be covered in the resetting the group anyway. It's like whether you have a group that's successful or whether you have a group that's unsuccessful or dead, it's like whatever. It's like you need to go through these steps to reset it to this structure so that you can then build upon it using everything we're going to teach you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the least options there are, the easier it's going to be and the less overwhelming it's going to be.
You know what? Let's take this out. I think this should be something that we. I think I really want to niche down like just a little bit, like to simplify what we're doing right now. It's like this is just covering launching a group the right way. And then for people who have a group, an existing group, maybe we'll build something that's like a lead in to this. It's like, let's get your engagement back up before we put you into this system. So it's like, if they have a group, then the easiest way to earn trust with them is, okay, do these like 4 things and you're going to start to see your group come alive again. People are going to start re-engaging. It's like, then you start, they'll be like, all right, what's the next step? So they're, well, come into my membership. Like we have, run your group in 5 minutes a day. And like we help you build out the right assets that you need for this group to run itself, for you to be able to have your business continue like making sales off of your free Facebook group. So it's like we can create something that will help with the diagnosing, help show them exactly what to do to fix what's happening, and to kind of pre-sell them into the program. But it feels like if we take this out, then it's like, all right, we're just doing one thing with the group. Right. So maybe this is like free course material or something. Like maybe that can be a like a slight adjustment on the engagement masterclass. It's like part of it is like a diagnostic, and then part of it is like, all right, here's like the best 6 ways for you to like increase trust and get people talking in your group again. Anyway, so should we take a break and then reconvene? I feel like we're moving, but I'm starting to feel like that feeling of like we're focusing super hard on the like right now. I'm like, I feel like I need to zoom out and just kind of what needs to happen. So anyway, okay, cool. Well, I feel like we're definitely moving in a good direction, and all the stuff that we're gonna kind of get down today, like it'll be fun once we kind of have the bricks laid of what's in there to like simplify down and like make some sexy titles and stuff, and then that can go into the like the sales page thing, or like into the first
So I
version of the
feel like
funnel.
for now, today, we don't even need to like come up with like snazzy titles or anything. We just
Right.
need to like come up with, all right, what do we want to cover in the intro? What
Right.
do we want to cover in section 1, section 2, section 3, and then the like launch bonus? I
Uh-huh.
feel like if we just have that structure down today, it's gonna be very clear. And then let's say tomorrow we can come in and then be like, all right,
Mhm.
how do we break all this down? How do we name it so it's logical, so
Right.
that people understand what's happening, that it's intriguing at the same time,
Mhm.
and then we can use that material to start building out the funnel.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. We'll see you in a bit. Thanks, man.
My pleasure.